In 1966, veteran television producer Bob Fitzmorris took a primitive 16mm optical camera to Cripple Creek and interviewed some of the people who helped make the district famous. Cripple Creek's Mayor Bill Robinson, international journalist Lowell Thomas, historians Marshall Sprague, and Mabel Barbee Lee sat down at the Imperial Hotel to talk about their experiences and love for the mining district.
What I would consider one of the most entertaining and factual historical accounts of the Cripple Creek district, coming right from the time when they first ran cattle up in here right up to the present time. It's called Money Mountain, the author of which is Marshall Sprague. And Marshall, I unfortunately just finished the book. I say unfortunately because many other people have read it before I ever got to it, and it certainly is a very interesting book. How long does it take to research a book such as Money Mountain?
I think I took about 2 years on that job. It was the first book of this region that I'd written, and I was pretty much in the dark about how it should be planned and so on. And so I got up there in Colorado College Library and read the Gazette. It's practically a rewrite of the Gazette through the years that Cripple Creek was booming at its highest.
What prompted you to do a book on Cripple Creek in the district?
And it just seemed to me that people were so interested in this fantastic gold camp, which is quite almost in a class by itself in the history of world gold rushes, because it was so small and so much gold came out of such a small area.
This young lady is well known for a couple of reasons. She's one of the foremost authors concerning the Cripple Creek Mining District, and she was also Lowell Thomas's school teacher way back when. Mabel Barbee Lee. And Mrs. Lee, what grades did you teach Lowell Thomas in?
I taught him, or tried to teach him, history and Spanish. He knew much more history than I did. And I was always very much afraid he was going to ask me a question I couldn't answer.
This would have been somewhat embarrassing.
But I knew more Spanish than he did. And even today I notice now that when he speaks of it, he says that he studied Spanish with me. He doesn't say he studied history with me, and there's a good reason why.
He's been studying history ever since,
yes.
hasn't he?
Well, his father was a very brilliant scholar, and I think Lowell studied with his father a great deal at home. And it put him ahead in school, you see, and handicapped poor little school teachers like me.
Probably one of the most well-known exponents of the Cripple Creek Mining District, a man who grew up in the mining district and lived a good portion of his life over in Victor, and actually got a start in the journalism business in Victor. That's Mr. Lowell Thomas. And Lowell, you've always been one that's been quite a plugger of the Cripple Creek Mining District, have you not?
Well, I'm an enthusiast for all mining camps, but of course particularly for my own hometown. Because when I was a boy, the Cripple Creek District was regarded as the greatest gold camp in the world. I imagine its only rival in those days was the great camp at Johannesburg on the Transvaal. But these mines here, they're all around us. We're sitting in the Imperial Hotel in Cripple Creek at the moment. And I come back to the Cripple Creek District, to Victor, and to its suburb, Cripple Creek, as often as I can, every 2 or 3 years. And this time, I'm here, sort of playing host to a group of people who've been getting together every summer for, 50 years or so. Because the people who worked in the mines here in the Cripple Creek District, they seem to almost belong to a club, and they enjoy coming back and trying to relive the old days. Alas, alas. So far, I've been up here for 2 hours this morning already, and so far, I haven't met a single one, Hard Rock, who goes back to the days when I was here. None of my vintage, so you see I've become a patriarch. At any rate, it's great fun to come back and to come to the Imperial Hotel, the home of melodrama, where the first Western melodrama was put on, that is, in what we call modern times, this jet age. And so long until tomorrow.